Hey everybody, I'm back this week for another Thanksgiving treat. This week, we're going to do sweet potato casserole. Hey, some of you may not care for it, but it's one of my favorites. So what you're going to do is you need to get about a 2-pound can of sweet potatoes and a can opener. Go ahead and open the can, obviously. Now, I know yours is in syrup, and I would actually honestly just, depending on how much syrup was in there, I'm just going to put it all in a bowl, mash it up, and if I think it's too runny, I'll just drain off some syrup. Can, syrup and all. Okay, I'm actually, since I think this is a lot of syrup, I'm going to take a little bit of syrup and put back in the can. But you do want to keep some of the syrup in there because that'll help keep your casserole moist. Let me get a fork. I mean, you can just use anything you want to mash these up. Whether you get a blender, what have you. So I think I'm going to drain off some more syrup. Like I said, the syrup judgment's on you. Okay, well, once you have your potatoes in there, you can mash them up first, or you can add, what are we adding here? We're adding 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Pack that down good. Dump in 1/4 cup of the brown sugar. Stir that in. Keep mashing potatoes while you're at it. Now, if you're ambitious, you could use real sweet potato. Well, these are real sweet potatoes, but you know, cook sweet potatoes and steam.
You coming?
Yeah?
Dad didn't do his work yet. You gotta come straight down to the parlor.
Okay. Sorry. Farm business. Anyway, once you have the brown sugar stirred in, you're going to get a 1/4 of a cup of butter, which is 1 stick. Now, if you don't have it quite at room temperature and you don't think it's going to mash up great, get a little microwave bowl, dump it in there, and do it for like 30 seconds. See, do it for 30 seconds. And while you're doing that, you need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Dump in the salt. Now, okay, this is the point where some people like to put in some pineapple and crap. If you want, put in 8 ounces of crushed pineapple. It's not my thing, but might be yours. Now get your semi-melted butter out. Doesn't really matter if it is or not. Just dump that all. You're going to use this bowl later, so set it to the side. And stir your butter in. If you think it's not moist enough, you can add in some more of the sweet potato juice, but you don't have to. Okay. Once you get that all mixed up, get yourself just a little 2-quart type casserole deal. Spray it with some cooking spray. And pour in all your yummy sweet potato-y goodness. Even it out a little bit. Okay, so you have to start our casserole there. So you're going to get that in the microwave for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Now, and while you're waiting, get that little bowl you used to melt your butter in, because we're going to start to make our crumble topping. Let me get down to where I'm at. Okay, now you just want a tablespoonful of brown sugar. Dump that in there because that's going to start to make your crumble. Now you need a teaspoon of water, so take your bowl, try over to the sink and get a teaspoon of water. Okay, teaspoon of water. Cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Dump that in there too. And you also want a fourth teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay. What do we got in here next? Okay, you want a tablespoonful of butter, so cut yourself off. Get a knife. And aren't the little measurements on the butter great? Cut yourself off a tablespoonful. And you'll have that ready to go for when this is done. Because you're just literally gonna pop it in for a minute till, well actually you're gonna pop it in for 30 seconds, stir it, put it in for another 30 seconds, and then we're gonna throw some marshmallows in. Mini marshmallows! And you need like a cup and a half of that. So we got the big bowl. I mean the big bag. And feel free to eat mini marshmallows as you go. Okay. So we have our cup and a half of mini marshmallows just set to the side. And now we're going to trade our casserole for our topping, and you do it for 30 seconds. Not 3 minutes. 30 seconds. My microwave wanted to argue with me. And you can start putting some stuff away. Oh, make sure you get yourself a big spoon. Okay. Get your bowl out. Give it a good stir. Sorry, it's the butter and the cinnamon. It just smells so good. Okay, well, my butter's completely melted, so I'm going to stick with the 30 seconds. You're going to pour this over your marshmallows. Scoop to make sure you get all the ooey gooey good. And take your spoon and just make sure you get all the marshmallows coated. See, you got a nice sort of crummy topping on your marshmallows. And get your casserole and try to make sure all the marshmallows are covered. And dump. Spread them out. Pop that in the microwave for 2 more minutes. Careful because the dish might be getting a little hot. I'm going to put these aside for another recipe. I'm doing a good job of cleaning up today. Oh, and if anybody's wondering about my awesome t-shirt today, my really great friend Becky from the Geek Project got it for me for my birthday. Hi, and thank you, Becky. And it came from Blue Box Tees. I know several t-shirt sites have printed this one before, but I'm telling you, Blue Box Tees, I love how comfy their shirts are. Very soft and good. And also for your casserole here, this is another point where it's kind of up to you. Pecans. I like to put some on top of mine, but it's completely up to you. Keep an eye on it. Make sure the marshmallows aren't going too crazy. Mine haven't really started to melt yet. "22 seconds, and then we're going to kind of test it to see if it's cooked through and hot. Because the key is you really want it heated the whole way through. Yeah, it's got the yummy topping one. Okay, we're going to check it in a couple seconds here. Ooh, it's starting to melt, but it's still a little ooey gooey gooey. So I'm going to put it in for 2 more minutes. And it may be a little gooier than maybe you're used to because I did add some of the syrup from the can. But like I said, also add as much or as little syrup as you want. It's good syrup. I hope everybody's gearing up for Thanksgiving, not that other holiday that seems to be taking over. I know some of you may be expecting me to talk about the certain show finale that was this week, but you can forget it because I didn't like it. Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on mine because the edges are starting to boil and bubble, but that's good. I don't know, you can try and serve it right away, but I'm going to wait till mine cools down and sets a little bit. But I've tried it before, and it makes a great sweet potato casserole. My cupboard's heading shut right. 20 seconds and we will be done. Yeah, like I said, be careful when you take this out because you might need hot pads because it's gonna be a little tasty. And to thank you everybody who liked my pumpkin custard recipe last week. It was good, wasn't it? Okay. Ooh, look at that. I don't want to tip it over because it might slosh out. But I'm going to take pecans, put them all over the top. Well, not all over the top, you know, just a nice sprinkling. And there you have a most awesome sweet potato casserole that you just made in the microwave. Yeah, it's completely ooey gooey right now, so but good. I'm going to enjoy this a little later when it has set up. Might take a little while because it's super hot right now. But I'll see you next week where we're going to do something else Thanksgiving themed. Hey, and shoot me suggestions. Thank you.